Well, Jacques is going to have plenty to talk about at the end of this match, and we're going to get underway.
To throw first. Game on.
Jermaine to throw first, and off we go.
Well, it was worth the wait, wasn't it?
80.
What a great moment. The crowd's patience rewarded there with a 180. Ian White also sees the funny side of that as well.
You can't buy moments like that, Rob. I remember my first 3 darts on TV where I was getting heckled like you wouldn't believe, and then I threw in a 180 in my first 3 darts on telly. It's still one of my favourite moments in my life. But that was something for Jermaine to really crack a smile over. But now it's down to business.
Certainly is, and it's very significant business as well, because we have a place in the quarterfinals up for grabs. Vincent van der Voort or Max Hopp
45
await the winner of this one. They are on stage next. Kyle Anderson has just made an appearance in the commentary area alongside
60.
myself and Paul as well. Welcome along, Kyle. Do take up a seat if you wish and watch this match along with the best commentary team in the business.
Well, they weren't available, so they have to put up with us.
140.
Yeah, steady 140 from Ian to get himself in the leg. And Jermaine is not only looking to win this tournament, he's looking to embellish on the confidence that he got yesterday going into the World Cup, where he will be playing with Van Gerwen. And Team Holland are doing all right today because Van Gerwen is in the next phase. He's going to be in the quarterfinals later on, playing against Dave Chisnell. That'll be a great game. But who
100
is going to be playing against 62. Vincent or Hopp? That match is next, but double 16 is next for Jermaine.
46.
Now Ian White has a chance he probably thought he wasn't going to get.
Yeah, because Wattimena, after that opening 180, has just gone a little bit patchy in this opening leg, and all of a sudden White is ready to pounce once again. He's looking at tops this time.
Yeah, shot the first leg, Ian White.
Again, a very stylish way to finish things off. It's a breaker throw for Ian White. It was a difficult leg for him, actually, because he had all that weight in around. Wattimena got off to a flyer, but Ian White just doing what Ian White's been doing for the best part of the last 3 or 4 European Tour events. The winner in Sindelfingen last time, a finalist in Graz, a finalist at the German Open as well. It does seem astonishing now that he had that horrific match against
136.
Karol Sedlacek in the German Darts Grand Prix in Munich when he lost 6-4, and he was, 6 from 30 on his finishing that day?
Yeah.
I mean, that seems like a heck of a long time ago now.
Well, in everybody's career, there is a game that is a complete anomaly. And maybe he was getting that anomaly out of the way before he was ready to explode. Well,
60.
Over the last month or so, he has put that behind him. And questions were asked of Ian White as to what he was capable of doing on stage. Well, he has answered that in spades. And now he's probably better equipped
80.
for majors than he has ever been. And nobody's going to question him from my side of the fence, because I feel he is a magnificent player. And in the words of Dan Dawson, one of the best in the world, and that was a world-class shot from Wattimena to leave himself on 143.
And I've said it time and time again as well. Often when you look at a successful European Tour run in hindsight, there often is
when you've got 143.
one big, or at least one big wobble along the way, and certainly Ian White had one of those yesterday. 6-5 against Mickey Mansell.
And you've got 100.
And again, the finishing wasn't good for Ian White. 6 out of 20. Mansell missed 5 match darts. White had missed 4 before he eventually scraped over the line with that double 4.
Oh,
Top
perfect.
stops for Ian White. Perfect.
Yeah,
straight out to the Ricky Evans textbook.
That one. Jermaine to throw first.
The thing is, when you get that first double top and there's plenty of room underneath with his angle of entry,
100.
it's more than likely going to go in, because all he's got to do is throw a half-decent dart. The first dart is the hard one. The second one is so much easier. That's why people do it. And Ian White looks way more
80.
comfortable than Jermaine right now. He's making fewer mistakes. He's putting himself in better spots. I get the feeling Jermaine is going to maybe suffer after that early miss on 62, because Ian White has not looked back.
I made the point yesterday as well with Ian White. I think what he's doing this year, or what he's finally doing this year, is bringing all of his Players' Championship form from last year onto the European Tour stage. It was baffling how he wasn't able to do that last year, given how well he was playing on the floor. Ended up as the number 1 on the Players' Championship
97.
Order of Merit, and finally he is bringing that to the European stage and the European party.
Well, weirdly, yesterday when he was doing an interview with Jacques after his win against Mickey Mansell, he said it's almost a role reversal because he feels he's playing better on the stage this year
140.
than on the floor. So maybe he's evolved into this new Ian White.
Yeah, we've seen that with other players.
134.
Joe Cullen, for example, has a great time of it on the European tour, and the exact opposite will be happening on the domestic scene, and that has flip-flopped with his career as well.
I, for one, am a big advocate for Ian White to get a nod in something.
Jermaine 74.
Maybe a World Series event. I think he deserves it now. Oh, gambled for 25 and tops, and the gamble pays off. That's like doubling down on a 6. Totally unnecessary, but boy, did that pay off.
Yeah, just a little acknowledgement there from Ian White as well, which was, well, at least I think it was. I'm just wondering if there was anything else that was said there, but I think it was, just a little doff of the cap there from Ian White.
Yeah, that was one of those trick shots from Federer. You know, when he's just about to stick it down the line and a drop shot and he turns it into a passing shot. That's what that was like.
81.
He is a difficult player to read, actually, Jermaine Wattimena, in terms of his body language and exactly sometimes where he's going to go as well.
Yeah, he's very swift and very watchable.
93.
I'm going to say something really, really honest now, because earlier in his career, I didn't get enough evidence to say that he was a world-class player. I thought he was all right.
Oh, we're talking about Wattimena.
Wattimena, yeah. But then, over the last 18 months, he's converted me. I realise how good he is now. It took a while, but there were some performances that made me realise, hang on, there's something about this lad.
Yeah, and he's still got time. I mean, he is 31, but I mean, people will say, well, you know, if he'd been doing this when he was like 22, 23, but he's still got a lot of time on his side, I feel. And
yeah, 31's a good age to start getting good.
It was only recently, I think it was last year, where he made his World Grand Prix debut, so he's starting to get that experience of the big tournaments, the TV majors as well, and that will just do him the world of good.
The thing about Jermaine is he's got a really watchable game. People like fast players, but they like good fast players. And technically, there's very little wrong with what he does. Now, can Ian White get 3 more 19s?
No, he can't.
Gets 3 7s instead. So Jermaine now will be looking at the bullseye. Whether he gets the 25 or the bull.
35.
He gets the 25, so 60. For that bull.
97. In Uruguay, 82.
A collective ooh from the crowd. I think we know who the crowd are willing to win in this one. But it's Ian White who looks at the bullseye now. Oh, that's an awful dart, because now if he gets the 13, he can't see the bull.
Yeah, so 63 remaining here, just checking with Kurt Bevins. Oh, well, he's missed that anyway. 57 he reads now, so he's just going to set that up, and he almost hit the double anyway. 38. But
splits it for double 16 and double 8 now.
Yeah. 22.
Thought that was on its way through.
Uruguay 40.
Sensible decision, though, I think, from Wattimena. Cost himself a dart at a double, but I think it was the right thing to do.
Yeah, I agree.
Although hindsight may well tell you another thing, because Ian White is returning, and I think he's grateful to return as well, looking at tops. And he makes no mistake this time around.
To throw first. Game on.
Well, Ian's game with Mansell yesterday was a bit odd because of all of those mismatched darts from both players. And there was a little bit of action from the audience. They were giving it the full slow Justin pipe noise, weren't they? And both players were getting it.
140.
And at one point when Ian had mismatched darts, he gave an ironic clap to the crowd as if to say, thanks for your help, everybody. But then eventually
99.
He had to turn to the crowd and clap them in another way because he'd won the match. So he swallowed his pride and his anger a little bit there, which is brilliant professionalism from the Stoke man.
100.
Well, he has got fond memories of playing in Holland as well. He beat Ricky Evans in the final of the Dutch Darts Championship last September. That was 56. In Maastricht.
Well, said yesterday that the Dutch Darts Championship is not being played this year. And funnily enough, we're saying if it's not going to come back, then Ian White will be the Dutch Darts Championship winner
59.
forever. He'll hold it for a minimum of 2 years. And it's going to have to come back to take that trophy off him. Imagine that, holding that forever.
No one can take it away.
Exactly. And Jermaine's doing a good job of getting himself back into this match. But that switch to the bull from Ian White was very smart. Now it's looking like genius.
76.
But he needs a little bit more of that genius
72.
to give himself a 4-1 lead. And Ian White has done really well to pluck away here. It's been a tricky match. A bit like walking through sand, really deep sand. He's had some big shoes to get through it.
52.
Now Jermaine cannot afford to miss this time.
Well, that's the first start at a double that Ian White has missed in this match.
Yeah,
and that has just found its way in. It's a hold of throw, 3-2, but it's White still with advantage. Yeah, 3 out of 4 now for Ian White on the doubles. That's why, or one of the reasons why, his average is just under 100. Jermaine Wattimena trying to get the crowd going. He needs something to work with, you feel, Jermaine Wattimena, and that's why he's trying to get them to play their part.
I think Wattimena's just trying to have as much fun as possible, as well as trying to get himself pumped up. Because this is the only ranking event in the Netherlands this year.
Yep.
Considering the popularity of the game and the amount of talent that the country has, it's an astonishing statistic. And they do have non-ranked events. They have 2 Rotterdam Premier Leagues, and they do have the World Series finals in Amsterdam.
Yeah.
But this match has had a lot of misses in it.
125.
Sneaky quality.
$134.
Just upping the intensity a little bit is Wattimena. Similar averages, around about that 95-ish mark. And you tend to see both these players always around there.
85.
But it's the first 9 of Ian White that worries me a little bit in this match, because he's usually where Jermaine is, between 105 and 115. Hasn't been able to capitalise on a good first start. But there's his saving grace. The doubles have been good.
Yeah, it's just as well he's got his shooting boots on today, because that is what has really kept him going so far. Wattimena's down to a bogey number again, by the way.
134.
Not for the first time today.
57.
And in a match of this nature, he's going to have to give himself every fighting opportunity, and those little marginal gains here and there may well prove a big difference. Although he's given a helping hand here, because Ian White, well, he's recovered to an extent.
80. Jermaine Uruguay, 112.
Big shot this. 1 down, 2 down.
72.
A bit too much rocket fuel on that one.
In Uruguay, 32.
And Ian White can give himself a 2-leg gap now. He's getting it from the crowd again, but it doesn't matter. And he's not going to give him
Jermaine to throw first.
any ammunition. He doesn't celebrate unless it's absolutely necessary.
140.
Yeah, really good finishing today from Ian White. 4 out of 5 so far, and he has that 2-leg cushion once again. And Wattimena once more is chasing the game. Kicks off with a ton 40, but it's on his throw. He needs to do some damage on the White throw sooner or later. He's
58.
running out of legs here as the number 15 seed.
Yeah, one thing Jermaine really wants to do
59.
at this point in the season, when he is a seed, he wants to take advantage of the ability to play less matches for more ranking points. Doesn't want to have to go to qualifiers, because he's had mixed experience of that this year. He's qualified for some, but not for others.
100.
Those European qualifiers, well, and the British ones, or British-based ones, are so difficult now. The strength of the players is frightening.
Well, that's the thing with Wattimena. He's been seeded for 3 of these. Well, before this weekend, he's been seeded for 3 of these. And the other 3 that he's had to go for qualifying, or try to go through qualifying for, he's failed on every occasion.
140.
So he does need to make the most of these opportunities when he is straight into the main draw as one of the top 16.
He's done job 1 by winning on a Saturday. That means that all of his ranking points do actually get put on the order of merit. And that's the thing that Ian White was talking about most last season, because he was failing a lot on the Saturday and going home with a couple of grand in his pocket, but he wasn't going home with any ranking points.
170.
And in his most recent Euro Tour event, he didn't go away with any ranking points either, because he lost in the second round to Barley 6-5. In fact, he has been beaten by good players this year in Europe, Peter Wright and Michael van Gerwen, the other two. So he's been unfortunate in that respect.
84 left for Ian White. That is a beautiful dart.
79.
Misses by a good centimetre and a half
38.
on the double 12, but straight forward, Jermaine Wattimena. Wow. Thought he was going to split it like last time, and that came up the hand a bit too late.
I had a feeling that might happen. I really did. Ian White has only missed 2 darts at a double in this match so far. You'd fancy his chances here. That was some way inside, so he just takes a step back to size up this double 6. And that one is dead centre from Ian White. 5-2. He may have started missing darts at doubles, but he's hoovering up in that visit, isn't he? So this is good stuff from the number 2 seed and the winner in Sindelfingen a couple of weeks ago.
There's some small intricacies with the Ian White game that I really admire. And the example that I'm thinking of is that last visit, because when you have 24 left and you hit the single 12 and then have to switch to the other side of the board for double 6,
140.
it's a completely different dart that you have to throw. So you're throwing as a right-eye dominant player, as a right-hander,
59.
across the line towards double 12, a high to the left double, and the adjustment to double 6, you can stay in the same rhythm if you want and go for double 6, but there's a slight adjustment. He steps back, then he steps forward, and then goes on the different line.
96.
I think great players do that, and Ian White is one of those.
Yeah, good approach play by Ian White. He's got himself down to 265. So he might well look at the 19s here.
Well, most players in the world these days will be thinking, I can get this in 6. He's going to stay up top.
Yeah, he's gone up top anyway.
The thing is, with Jermaine on 311, he's going to have to be perfect from here.
85.
He'd need a 171. 140 is not good enough. He's not going to get to a finish, so Ian White has been proved right.
58.
So 140 and a double. Simple equation. Easier said than done, though. But there is 1. There is a 1. Didn't want 80. That 1.
And he's tidied it up with a single 19. So he is down to a ton. Wattimena needs something big here. Needs to apply a bit of pressure.
140.
Well, it could have been better, but it's okay.
100.
I think Ian White in this game has knocked the stuffing out of Jermaine Wattimena with consistency.
And that consistency has yielded 2 darts at tops, and he only needs 1. It's a 100 checkout to round off a fairly comfortable progression for Ian White, the number 2.